We're back, everyone.
We're back, guys.
We took a week off.
Yeah, we decided to take a week off.
You know, it was a busy week last week, so.
Yeah,
It really was. It really was.
Jake and I were game days for the 49ers.
That's right.
So anytime there's a Sunday game that really bumps up to a busy week, like opening round and playoffs, it's just busy.
Very busy, but great stuff that we got going on. First round of playoffs was last week. Now we jump to the semifinals. Welcome to the Cover Cal High podcast. I'm your host, Jake Vanderbrook, alongside Adrian Soriano and Aubrey Tolliver. I don't know why I said your name. I pointed at Aubrey, but I said Adrian.
Little switch. It's okay.
Little switch. But wins of the week. Aubrey, start us off.
Well, I was at a great San Mateo Woodside football game last week, and I want to say, I'm going to put you on the spot, Jake. We did talk about it. You go, it's a 1 versus 8 matchup. We were like, I wonder how good this game is going to be. And I went in thinking that it was probably going to be one of the best 1 versus 8 matchups that you can have in the first round of a playoff, of section playoffs. Woodside, the number 1 seed, undefeated on the year, hasn't lost all year. San Mateo goes in as the 8th seed. San Mateo takes home the win in overtime.
An impressive victory for those Bearcats.
Very, very impressive. There was a lot of drama kind of thrown throughout the game. The two offenses, very similar offenses where you're not going to see a lot of balls in the air. San Mateo, for instance, only threw 3 passes all game, completed 2 of them. We go there, and Woodside has a chance to hit a field goal to win the game with 3 seconds left on the clock. A low snap, a fumbled snap, and a missed field goal takes us into overtime, where San Mateo gets the ball first. I don't know if you guys know the playoff rules. You start
college football rules.
College football, you start at the 10-yard line. Each team will get a chance to score. San Mateo scores on a TJ Johnson. Did I get that right? Ooh, yeah, gosh, always go with my instincts. TJ Johnson on a TJ Johnson touchdown, and San Mateo has a defensive stand to win it.
Wow, great win for those Bearcats. And it's an interesting 1 versus 8 matchup because these are two teams they can be very sneaky offensively with the play calling. You just don't know where the ball is going. Yes, they're going to run the ball quite a bit. Woodside, it's all about the direct snap, and then San Mateo, they like to run that veer offense, if I correct.
It's either a veer or
it's
a wing
an option
tee.
offense.
It's
an option offense.
It's an option. And the way we shoot football games is we stand 25 yards ahead of the play. When you're shooting a team like that, you almost want to stand at the line of scrimmage, if not right behind the line of scrimmage, because I want to see what is happening back there, because I cannot see a single thing. Basically, when we shoot football games and we shoot those types of teams, I basically just have my camera set on the line, and I'm just going to see who pops out at the edges or, rushes up the middle. Have no idea who has the ball most of the time. There are guys getting tackled there are running backs getting tackled who don't have the ball, and the next thing you know, a guy's in the end zone. Yeah. It's a really, really, really fun offense to watch, though. Oh, yeah. And I had a whole game of it. So I'm sorry if you guys watched my highlights and I missed a few plays because I had no clue who has the ball. No clue.
It's really, really tough to shoot that offense.
Yeah. But I had a blast. It was a really, really, really great game.
And Adrian, what was your win of the week?
Well, I'm going to go Los Gatos, St. Francis. Let me tell you, man, Los Gatos, great team, man. Great atmosphere, Shout out to Ken Perotti, man. He let me park in the back of the football field. Nice. So, but hey, listen, it was all defense in this game, 14-7 final. Los Gatos scored in the 4th quarter, and St. Francis, they were driving downfield in the 4th quarter. They were at the 1-yard line, 3 tries to punch it in. Nothing.
Football gods were not in their favor. See, I can't imagine what that win felt like for Los Gatos and for Coach Crail. So Los Gatos was beaten by St. Francis
last year
in the CCS Division I title game. And I was on the Los Gatos sideline for that one, and you could tell it stung. That one definitely stung. But I wish I was there this year because I can't imagine just what that Los Gatos sideline really felt like after a win like that.
They were so happy. I mean, wow. I'm like, that's probably the happiest I've seen Los Gatos football in a very long time. I mean, like I said, I've went to Milpitas High School, and we've had battles with Los Gatos for years and years and years, right? I mean, so...
And I went to Wilcox. There's
exactly,
always a
right?
battle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, just to beat St. Francis, kind of takes off a little bit of the sting from last year. But you know what? This week, they're going to have a tough game again. They're playing Palma. They're at home. They're at home against Palma, but Palma, man, they're no pushovers. They're a good team.
Yeah.
They're a good team. So
what a statement for LG.
Yeah.
What a
It was.
statement. You talk about last year and how devastating that game was for LG to lose that game to St. Francis in the final game. What a statement from a defensive standpoint. Goal line, 3 goal line stops.
3 goal line stops. I mean, the third one, they knew it was over. I mean, I don't know what was going on with St. Francis. They called their last timeout after after a first down play. I'm like, I thought they were gonna pass it. Just let's see what happens. But I'm not a coach, so I can't. But shout out to St. Francis, man. That was a good season for them. Tough schedule, like always. But I'm not taking anything away from Los Gatos, man. Great team win.
All right, win of the week for me.
Yes.
Clayton Valley. A gutsy win for those ugly Eagles. They were down 19-10 in the fourth quarter. And who did they turn to?
I wonder who.
I wonder who as well. It was Jadis Lucky. A huge game for him. And let me tell you, a huge screen pass that was dialed up offensively. Nolan Lopez, great ball to Jadis and let Jadis do the rest. Great blocking up front that led to the touchdown that cut the deficit to 2. And then defensively, they were able to get the ball back and just run the dang ball up the middle with Jadis, and he'd shoot a lot of clock, and that set up the man himself, Brady Emery, a big field goal from 37 yards out to seal it for Clayton Valley. A great win for those ugly Eagles, taking down 5th-seeded Windsor. Clayton Valley is my win of the week.
Clayton Valley is your win of the week. And by the way, Brady Emery has a great backstory.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. And we're going to be featuring that later on this week.
On the show.
On our show. Right. So let's make our way over to the football poll. So with some of these big games that took place last week, do we have any changes?
In the bottom half, but here we go. Salle, Riordan, Pitt, Cardinal, Newman, Serra, Acalanes, Los Gatos, McClymonds. The 9 and 10 was tough, right? Because we had Marin at 10 and I think at Liberty at 8. Both of those teams lost, right? So we're going to go with Santa Teresa at 9, Menlo at 10.
What's your reasoning for that?
Santa Teresa, they're
Is
so
it just
undefeated.
strictly because they're in
No.
the playoffs?
It's so hard because in the playoffs, right? You win, you keep going, you lose, you're done.
Yeah.
But
But good
Undefeated
teams,
though.
good matchups though.
I know.
Good teams are going
I
to drop
know.
out.
I know.
You're top. Not every top team is going to make it.
I know. I've had Santa Teresa in the bubble for a while now. They're still undefeated, right? They're still undefeated, right? Should be a big test for them this week against Sacred Heart Cathedral. Let's see what they do there. And then Menlo, I had Menlo also in the bubble, right? Entering the Los Gatos week. Yes, they forfeited a game, but, you can't count that against them, right? You're not going to go play Wilcox the next week after you play Los Gatos and a lot of people got hurt. You're not going to go to the Wilcox week with like 18 players, right? You number one thing is safety for the players. So, I have Menlo at 10. Let's see what they do again this week. They have St. Ignatius, a big test for them. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So on the Max Preps rankings,
Yes.
Which are computerized. We'll say that. It's just a computer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they have Santa Teresa at 22. And so you have them at number 9. So my question to you is, are you looking at Santa Teresa with your poll as in, okay, are they undefeated? Do you weigh more heavily on that? So give me like a chart of percentages of how you weigh Santa Teresa? Like, what's the percentage that you weigh based on how their record is? What do you weigh on based on the teams that they play? What do you weigh on in terms of like head-to-head matchups? Do you have that?
Yes, I have all that.
What are those percentages?
I think first of all, right? Okay, what's your record, right? That's not heavy, right? But they are undefeated.
Give me a number.
I don't think he can tell you.
I can't tell you about I think maybe 20%. 20%
is your record.
Record 20%. League championship. Did you win a league or league title or not? Right. That holds some precedence, I think. Who'd you play? I know Santa Teresa weak non-league schedule, but hey, man, listen, they beat all these teams and they're in the semifinals, right?
We've had this discussion probably on this podcast before where
I
look at a top 10 team and I go, can this team beat this team? Can this team beat this team? And so here's my issue. No offense to Santa Teresa, no offense to that league.
They're having a great season.
You don't have St. Francis. You don't have St. Francis in your top 10 poll.
They lost.
But Santa Teresa, who wins against Santa Teresa, St. Francis?
Ooh. Santa Teresa.
Really?
Santa Teresa.
Okay.
I think so. But also, had St. Francis beaten Los Gatos, they would be in the poll, right? But they didn't beat Los Gatos. And they were not in the poll to begin with last week. So I can't put somebody in the poll if they lost.
Can Santa Teresa beat Marin Catholic?
Ooh. No.
Can Santa Teresa...
But Marin Catholic lost.
Well,
they lost.
So,
they did.
But see, and so that's where we fundamentally disagree with polls, which I have come to a conclusion. I have made my peace. We just look at top 10 polls differently, I think.
No, we absolutely do, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like, well, you can't say, can Team X beat Team Y? Well, we can't say that because they never played.
They never played, but you can look at common opponents.
We can only judge teams based on who they played, what they did in league. You can't say, can Team X beat Team Y? Can't do that. But again, right, we agree to disagree. We
Good point.
Look at top 10s differently, right?
Yeah, it's a different look. It really is. I will say this, though. Yes, Santa Teresa is having a remarkable season, and they do have some explosive playmakers. And yes, they did win a league title, and the list goes on. They've had a wonderful season. This Saturday, they're going to be facing some WCAL competition.
Same thing for Menlo. Menlo, same thing, right? Menlo Friday night, they're playing St. Ignatius.
I just don't know if Santa Teresa can compete at this level.
Well, we're going to find out on Saturday. I'll be there.
And you know what? I hope they prove us wrong.
If they do, granted, don't get me wrong. If they do, so be it. Congrats.
But, we're looking at a standpoint of their strength of schedule. Right? And again, we always talk about it. You can't knock a team for being in a league that's not as strong as the WCAL. Because you can't knock a team for that, but also you got to make sure you're scheduling non-league as tough as you possibly can as well when you know that you're facing a league like that.
Yeah, and they're D2 too, right? I mean, listen, that's outside of the Open D1. That's the next highest playoff bracket.
They're going to be. I would say both Santa Teresa and Menlo to play it safely. Safe to say that these two teams are going to be very well tested entering this week.
I think more so with Menlo because of just the numbers that they have in the football on their team. Like Santa Teresa has guys, right? So yeah, it should be a great matchup this Saturday. I'll be at the Santa Teresa game on Saturday.
Gotcha. So. And you know what? They're gonna love you. Make sure you stand on their sideline, and they're gonna be we should have been in this poll weeks ago.
But shout out to Steve Pappin. Never count out Steve Pappin, guys.
We love Pat.
Never count him out.
We love Pat.
It's a big test for Santa Teresa entering this week, but we got some hardware to hand out.
Yes, we do.
This
Open
week,
Division.
Open Division.
I was like, what are we doing? I said, are we announcing our players of the year right now?
No.
Okay, yeah.
But that will be very soon, though. That will be very soon.
So we have the CCS Open Division title. It's Riordan and Serra. And I know we break down the games, but we have a guy from Bay Area Sports TV. He also does De La Salle Sports TV. Stephen Shea, he is the color commentator for those games, calls De La Salle, Serra football games. And he's going to give us our look at some of these matchups, starting with Riordan and Serra. Give it a look.
All the kids are going to have to really, take ownership and not get beat deep if you're Serra. If you give the Riordan quarterback time, he's just going to look deep downfield. He's got a strong arm, and he effortlessly can throw it 30, 40, 50 yards down the field to Division I wide receivers. So, that would be the main thing for Serra is trying to not let them knock the lid off the back of that defense and not get behind them. Keep everything in front of you if they can.
These two teams faced each other a couple weeks ago. It was a great game.
It was. Mm-hmm.
It was.
What a game, huh?
42-35.
I'll be there again.
Which means you cannot predict what's going to happen here. Neutral site. Technically, Riordan is traveling a bit farther than Serra, although not by much.
I don't understand this. So, San Mateo, San Francisco, they got to go all the way to San Jose City
College. It's just
College.
the deal CCS has with.
It's tough, right?
Why?
I don't know. I mean, CCS, they do the best job they can, right? To really.
This game should have been at Kezar.
I agree.
This game should have been at Kezar.
Yeah, it's so tough. I mean.
Or even College of San Mateo, even.
Yeah. But it just happens with the
really
deal.
tough.
It costs money,
Exactly. It's really,
I am happy just to see it played at a neutral site because we've seen, especially in the spring, you have a CCS or a NorCal or not NorCal, but a section title game played at a home baseball field just isn't quite right to me. Not CCS, NCS.
It's tough, right? I mean, listen, these sections do the best they can to really accommodate both schools, right? Sometimes it doesn't happen, sometimes it does, right? Just got to roll with the punches, as they say at this point. But hey, man, it works for us. It's close to
Levi's
the stadium, so
it's very convenient for you.
It is very
convenient for you.
It is very convenient.
So obviously, both teams they went on to win their first round matchup. Serra beating Mitty 29-13, while Riordan went on to beat Salinas 42-9. So what was interesting about this, the big takeaways from last week. So Serra, they ran the ball a lot. Andrew Takapatolo led the way with 113 rushing yards, a touchdown, along with Isaiah Singleton, who had 112 rushing yards. And Riordan, they did a lot more passing than they did running with Michael Mitchell Jr., 385 pass yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 to Sinai Thomas, 1 to Adonye Brown, and the other to Perrion Williams. So what was interesting about this is that they went with mainly what they're known to do. Serra with running, Riordan with passing. But when these two teams face each other again this week, it's going to have to be balanced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. And, 2 weeks ago, that's how Serra really won the first half, right? Riordan was trying to pass the ball, wasn't working. They turned to the running game, and, Adonye Brown's going to be the X factor on this game again, right? Adonye was a huge reason why Riordan was able to open up their offense in the second half. I think Adonye is going to score a couple touchdowns, I think, against Serra on Friday at San Jose City College. I'm picking Riordan for this game again. Riordan went to Serra and beat him at Serra. This is a neutral site. It's going to be packed.
Riordan fans travel, too.
It's all about the purple rain.
Yeah.
Purple rain.
Yeah, those Riordan fans will make their way to San Jose.
Now, this was a game that Serra was leading at halftime.
Yes, they were.
How does Serra get back into it's like, man, we had a tough loss to Riordan a couple weeks ago. Now you got to face them again. What does Serra have to do to play a complete game in order to take down Riordan?
I think they have to play the way they played in the first half. Now, listen, they played well in the second half too, but they went for a couple fourth down conversions, didn't get it done, and that's really what helped.
But that's the difference. So we've seen this a lot with De La Salle.
Yes.
If De La Salle takes the lead going into halftime, they will dominate time of possession in the second half. they will have 75% of the time in the second half. I've seen Serra try to do that in times because, very similar offenses.
Yes. For the most part, yeah.
Coach Allenbaugh,
and Patrick.
Yeah, and Patrick are close. And so what I've seen is Serra try a lot of the times to really have that time of possession come in their favor, but a fourth down stop is so detrimental to that.
Not once, but twice, and really swung the momentum to Riordan in the second half, right? So
not only do you give up the ball, and one, I can't say you're not trying to score when you're really taking into account how much time you want on that clock, but the momentum thing is huge.
And and listen, it wasn't like Serra got blown out in the second half. They tied the game in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. They tied the game. I mean, again, they just got to cut down on the mistakes. I think this game will come down to a field goal, I think, in my opinion. Right? I think Serra had a missed field goal, if I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks ago. Okay. So that played a factor too, right? Sure. So, again, I'm picking Riordan, but it'll be a 3-point game.
I think this game's going to be low scoring.
I think it'll be a completely different game from 2 weeks ago.
I think Serra's going to do whatever they can to control the time of possession. Mm-hmm. That is such a big factor. They had a halftime lead 2 weeks ago. They are going to do whatever they can to chew clock.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting when you go up against a team like Riordan, too, who isn't quite necessarily worried about the time on the clock.
No,
because a Mikey Mitchell Jr. pass, or 3 Mikey Mitchell Jr. passes, is going to eat up 25 seconds on the clock, and that's an 80-yard play. It's so I won't say easy for Riordan to drive down the field because they have a quarterback and receivers to be able to make not only great throws but incredible catches. So I think that's why these matchups are so incredible to watch. It's like two different styles of football coming together, and one isn't correct over the other, one isn't better than the other. It's two ways to play outstanding football.
And that's why I said earlier, right? Adonia Brown's going to be the X factor in this game because, for the most part, Serra really limited Riordan's air attack. Mm-hmm. And now there's a big difference too is, I think Judge Nash is done for the year. He had a shoulder injury against Serra 2 weeks ago. I don't think he played last week, so I don't think he's playing this week. I'm not assuming anything, but that's a huge loss, right? That's a huge loss for Riordan not having Judge there. I know they have receivers, but
I'm sure they have.
They have many weapons, but he did lead the CCS in touchdowns.
And that's a huge loss. Yeah. It's a huge loss. So let's see what happens, how these two teams adjust to each other. And it kind of reminds me of Serra St. Francis from 3 years ago when St. Francis beat De La Salle, right? And St. Francis went on to win the Dub Cal League, played each other in the Open, and Serra beat them. Right. This is the exact same thing, minus the De La Salle part.
Yeah, I think Riordan's going to have to run the ball more. I think Serra's going to have to throw the ball more. Yeah. I think it's going to be one of those games. So
looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
Looking forward to it. Friday night,
San Jose City College, our Mancini Sleep World dream matchup. I'll have the pillow and the sleep mask to the MVP.
Okay.
There you go.
Get your vocal cords warmed up because
I'm gonna tell you right now.
We have those teams sing the Mancini's jingle.
What? I'll be eating some pho and tea this week, man. I got to get my voice right for this game.
Okay, there you go. All right, so we go from the CCS Open to the NCS Open. Yes. It's Pittsburgh and De La Salle. We go back to Shea on what he thinks about this matchup.
De La Salle defensively, I have not seen the team this fast. Just all 11 players being able to get to the football. And they're strong up front, and Allenbaugh will talk about that right now. This is a special group of kids. And so it's been fun to watch them on the defensive end. for me, I think Pittsburgh is, they're the type of kids and the type of athletes that might be able to play a little more man defense and match up and see if they can force, maybe bring that extra safety down in the box and see if they can shut down the run. But I mean, I think they're just going to really have to kind of key in on stopping these guys on the running game, because if not, De La Salle can churn that clock and they can just really go to work on you, and they can have these long drives that eat up a ton of clock.
All right, thanks, Shay. So this game, it's always Pitt and De La Salle for
Pretty
the
much,
open.
yeah.
Always Pitt and De La Salle.
Always. So first round matchups, De La Salle went on the beat. San Ramon Valley, 42-0.
42-0, I believe, yes.
And Pitt was able to take down Liberty 42-18. These were league matchups pretty much in the first round.
I always thought how weird that is. Just schedule a first round league matchup. But especially in the open when you only have 4 teams, you don't have really much of a choice to schedule your league in the first round. I want to go on record by saying this is the best De La Salle team we have seen in years.
Last year's was pretty darn good.
I mean, I don't think it compares to the last time they won state, which was oddly enough 10 years ago.
But I said in year, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the best De La Salle team, I'll say,
yeah.
in recent years. Sorry,
Recent
I didn't
years,
mean to
yeah.
go back
Yeah,
10 years. But, defense wins championships.
They do.
My goodness, that defense.
What does Pitt have to do?
Be perfect in all 3 phases of the game, right? Right. Well, you got to make stops when you can. You need to score the ball, or you need to score when you have the ball. But I'll make my prediction now. De La Salle blowout. De La Salle blowout. Listen, man. And, it's so. We're talking about De La Salle. We have not even talked about Jaden Jefferson. We have not even talked about Jaden Jefferson or Deuce Jones-Drew. We have not even talked about those 2 guys. Right. This is how good De La Salle is. Right. They will be the open division representative for Northern California.
You heard it here.
They will be. I mean, who's beating this team in NorCals? I don't think anyone can beat this team in NorCals. No one. Maybe Folsom, but
Who has that game?
Nikon has that game.
Introduced. Nice.
Yeah, De La Salle. That's my prediction.
Do you see any loopholes with this De La Salle team?
Good question, Jake.
No.
You really you think
No.
everything is just perfect,
Peachy.
flat out
Listen,
perfect?
It's like we've always said, if you want to beat De La Salle, you beat them early. It's really hard to beat De La Salle at this point of the season because they just get better. They just get better as the week goes on, and
They do.
Like I said, now they're really just all cylinders are firing for De La Salle, and they got track stars over there. They got physicality.
That team could beat 30 to 50% of Division I football teams.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, maybe 80% for North.
80% of Division I football teams?
Oh, I'm talking about in
I'm sorry,
California?
college.
Oh, college. Oh, no, okay, I take it
College.
back. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, probably 30. I thought you were talking about like high school, but
No.
yeah,
They
30,
could beat
50%.
90% of
Yeah.
Division I teams.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many running backs that are going to get a lot of
Plug and
touches
play.
for De La Salle, plug and play, like you said, and you just don't know who's going to get the ball, what
Exactly.
comes up the middle. That's why you always shoot wide when it comes to shooting
view
De La
offense,
Salle
yeah.
offense, and
It's so tough.
Fun.
It's so tough to defend against that.
it really is. And also another factor is time of possession, like what Aub mentioned. They're going to chew a bunch of clock,
Yes.
and that's what De La Salle is all about. They're going to ground and pound. That's all it is to it.
And they're sneaky, right? You think it's gonna be run 8 plays, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? Wide open pass, touchdown.
Or
Right.
not even that. Braden Knight could just take it himself as a quarterback
Exactly.
keeper. We've seen that many times against Serra. We've seen that a bunch of times against Cal when we shot them earlier this season. So, I mean, if they need Braden Knight to make a play with his legs, he will do it without a doubt.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't want to say that De La Salle is the favorite to win this game.
Yes.
Now, I think Pittsburgh can make it interesting. I think they have the capability of doing that. Now, like you said, if you win the turnover battle and if you get off to a fast start, you can make it interesting. But I think heading into this game, De La Salle is favored to win by more than 2 or 3 possessions, in my opinion. So,
yep. Winner gets a break next week before heading into NorCals.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So that's that. What other matchups are you looking forward to seeing?
Just quickly, we touched on it earlier, Clayton Valley, Campolindo. Clayton Valley, Campolindo, the last time these teams played each other, Clayton Valley beat Campo 21-16. And even though that is the case, Campolindo has the 1 seed, Clayton Valley the 4 seed.
Wow.
It's a great game.
You know what?
that
Jake,
is a great game.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, how many yards does Campolindo have to keep Jadis to?
That's a good question, but I know Campo's going to do whatever they can to stack the box.
Yeah, for sure.
They are going to
sell
stack
on
the
the run.
box.
Yep.
So I think Campo really, not Campo, Clayton Valley's got to pass to win this game.
Hey, and they were able to do that in that last game. I mean, they had both Nolan Lopez and Mirza Mann in that game. And if E.J. Okiri needs to make a play as a receiver, he will. Mm-hmm. And he did show that. He had a receiving touchdown in that game, if I recall correctly. But I think the big thing is if Campo wants to get revenge, they have to finish off their drives by scoring.
Oh, yeah.
They were stopped in the red zone 3 times late in that game. Mm-hmm. You can't do that.
No.
You have to take advantage of those opportunities when you're in the red zone. That's going to be a big thing for Campolindo this week if they want to take down Clayton Valley.
Yep. I'm going to go. Hey, we touched on this team earlier as well. Santa Teresa and Sacred Heart Cathedral at Kezar Stadium.
That's going to be interesting.
Saturday. Listen, this is the biggest test for Santa Teresa this season. I am not counting out Steve Pappin.
Yep.
But, man, let me tell you, Sacred Heart Cathedral, I've said it earlier this year, right? They were a sleeper team in Dub Cal. Michael Sargent, right? They have a lot of talent in Sacred Heart Cathedral. But so does Santa Teresa. I think it's going to come down to defensively who can make the big stop in the fourth quarter. Very quickly, yeah. But I'm picking.
You think this is going to be a good game?
I think so. And
Really?
I'm picking Santa Teresa to win. Picking them.
Okay.
Close game, though.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game.
Really? Okay.
I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah,
EJ?
That's going to be the big question. My big question, the reason why I hesitated a little bit, can Santa Teresa play with these Dub Cal teams? Yeah. That is the main question.
Yep. And you know what? And if it's the opposite, I know I'm going to hear from Sacred Heart Cathedral, man. Love you guys. But, I'm just my opinion.
Okay. Acalanes, Cardinal Newman.
This is a big game.
This is going to be very interesting. And Acalanes with Tyler Winkles and what that Don's offense was able to do to Marin Catholic last week, that was an outstanding performance for Acalanes. Putting up 51 points on offense to take down MC. Great win for those Dons. Now they head up north. And when you head up north, you face Newman. That is not an easy test.
No.
Now they have some of those transfers back from Newman. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. We've talked about King Pitts a number of times and how talented this sophomore pass rusher is with 23 D1 offers, 4-star. Oh, boy. This is going to be a very interesting game. And I will say this. Cardinal Newman, I believe, is going to have to run the ball more. This is going to be a big game for Malachi Pathumarak and Brody Estrella. But this is a big game for Cardinal Newman if they want to take down Acalanes because they are no pushovers.
And you know what? Newman needed 2 double OTs, right, to beat San Marin last Friday, right? So, and Acalanes, offensively, they're just so explosive. Man, I'm going to...
Finley!
It's like, well, who pick your poison for Acalanes, right?
Do both of these teams make playoffs or make
No.
NorCals?
Winner advances to the D1 title game. They will play the loser of the open
And then loser
division.
goes home.
Yeah.
This is a big game.
My prediction for this game.
We always have our best teams knock each other out. I don't want to see
honestly,
I don't want to see
And I still believe Cardinal Newman should have been in the open division, right? I really wanted to see
Over
them against,
Pitt?
No, honestly, I wanted Acalanes in the top 4 too, right, in the open division. But that's a discussion for another episode. It's just.
Wait. What do you
Yes.
mean top four?
I feel like
in
the
the
top
poll.
four-
Open.
In the open division, I feel like Acalanes, Pitt, De La Salle, and Newman. I think they should be the 4 team that's.
So
playing
what you're saying
for
is
the open
Liberty should
division.
not have been in the open.
I don't think Liberty should have
That's
been in
what
the
he's
open.
saying.
I don't
Liberty
think-
should not have been in the
yeah.
open. It should have been
I
either
don't think SRV
Acalanes
should
or
have been in
Cardinal
the open
Newman.
either. I think they should have been in, D1 or D2.
Wait, what teams are you saying that should have been in the open instead?
Acalanes and Cardinal Newman.
They are in the open D1 bracket.
No. Acalanes and Newman, they're in the D1 side, right? I'm saying they should have been in the open division side of the.
So
bracket.
you're saying they should be 7 and 8 seeds?
No, I think it should have been 1, 2, 3, 4, top 4 in the open division side, and then whatever you do with the bottom 4. I think that should have been.
Well, so the open division is 1, 2, and they go up against 7, 8.
No.
3, 4, 5, 6. Those seeds are guaranteed in D1.
So,
So,
but what I'm saying is you should have the top 4 teams in the section in the.
you're
open side.
saying you format it
You
differently.
format it differently. So you have
okay.
the top four teams in the section go to the open division bracket, and then the next
then-
4 in
Yeah.
the other side, right? I think that's a little bit more fair in my opinion, but Newman is my prediction.
Okay. Cardinal
Field
Newman.
goal again, low scoring.
Yeah, it's hard to play up north.
It's tough, and that's a long drive from Lafayette. It's a long drive.
Well, it's gonna be
Lafayette to
a
Santa Rosa?
longer drive.
Yeah, that's a 45-minute drive.
No, wait, Lafayette? No.
Yeah, Lafayette
from
is
Santa Rosa?
basic.
From
It's
Lafayette?
about. I think it's about an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna
because from here it's an hour 45, 2 hours, and Acalanes
It's a couple hours.
is already
Yeah.
halfway
like an
there.
hour 55.
I said hour 45, 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
We're split
it's going to be a longer drive
Yeah.
for Robert because he's
Yes,
going to be
it'll be a long
covering
drive
this
for
game.
Sorry, Robert will be at this game. I can't wait to see the highlights.
Yeah, that's going to be a very exciting game. Acalanes, I think they're going to throw more. Newman is going to
think he'll
run
run more.
more. Very interesting game.
It's going to come down to the defense.
All right, that's all the time we have.
That's all we got?
That's all we got. This is a long one.
That was a long one. How long
40
was it?
seconds.
Okay.
Or 40 minutes.
40
40
minutes.
seconds. Wow.
Yeah.
40 seconds.
40 seconds.
Okay, perfect. Safe to say. Oh, I was
You want
close on
another
that
shot?
one. I got
Another shot.
Safe to say.
Oh, he hit the
I hit the
mic.
camera, but it won't show on the lens, though.
That's okay. He hit the camera.
You've been covered.
Yep.